Everybody live.
Oh,
Negative, say nothing. Candy on the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
right. All right. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2026. We are roll call. Black, white, and blue for better relations. I'm here with D, Ty, JT, Will, Derek, Rich, Jim, and Mark. Um, we have a show planned for you today. We're going on 6 years of doing this, going on 6 years in a couple of weeks. It'd be 6 years that we've been doing this. But today we're going to start off with our intro moment of silence. And then I guess who's doing a disclaimer? Anybody doing a disclaimer?
No,
You do
I
it.
didn't do that. I'm sorry.
Okay, well that's all right. I'll go with the disclaimer, and Rich could go with the statement of purpose. And so let us go, D. Uh-oh. There's no sound, D.
Still picture.
There's no sound. Hey guys, we got sound?
It's
No.
very faint. We can't really hear it.
Somebody's got this sound. You got mute. You guys hear that, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Call me if you need a friend. Call me if you need a friend.
Walk with me, I'll walk with you down these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together, we're gonna make it through. If you walk with me, I'll walk with you. Be there for me, I'll be there for you. When we're running out of hope, when we don't know what to do, like a candle in the darkness, shining bright and true. Be there for me, I'll be there for you. Oh, everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright, alright. You and me got better days coming, yeah. Everything is gonna be alright. Walk with me, I'll walk with you. I know the rain of today will bring tomorrow's bloom, where we can't see where we're going, what the world is coming to. You walk with me, I'll walk with you. It'll be alright. Walk with me. Alright. I will walk with you. Alright. Oh, walk with me. Alright. And I will walk with you. It's gonna be everything. It's gonna be alright, everything. I will walk with. Gonna be alright. Gonna be alright, everything. And I will walk with. Gonna be alright. I will walk with. Gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Walk with me. I will walk with you.
All right, that was
All
that
right.
was really, really nice. And when I was thinking about that, I'm like, some people don't understand how do we be police officers, but I loved being a police officer. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I really enjoyed it. And him said we used to say, it's not the best job in the world, but it's the best job I ever had. And I and I still have to say the same. I still say today it was the best job in the world, but it's the best job I've
We
ever
never
had.
had. We always said
And and that job has put me in a position where I am today.
exactly.
So I still appreciate the police department, the police work. I just wish all police officers had the same mentality to serve and not to destroy and just lock up people just for the sake of locking them up, but to serve, protect, and to serve.
There was so many
So
of
today we
us.
do, yeah. So I did not prepare myself because I was over here trying to get stuff right at home. But the disclaimer, that's me. And then Rich will come up with the statement of purpose. So roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations. The comments and the express concerns made by the members of roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations, here roll call are the opinions of the individual and not offered or intended to be legal advice, recommendations, or suggestions for listeners and our observers. The panel may display graphic videos or photographs that are integral to or to spark discussion. These videos and photographs are not intended to offend any viewer or any listener. A panel member will give notice to the audience as to the nature prior to displaying any graphic or sensitive video or photograph. Any graphic content displayed during the panel discussion has been obtained and shared from public social media on platforms and is not the proper roll call. The language used by the members of roll call and guests is spontaneous, it is uncensored, and is not intended to offend our audience or anyone else. Rich, it's in your hand.
Okay, thank you, Rev. Once again, we're roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations. We're a pro law enforcement group. We're for equitable policing. We're against racism. And Black and Brown Lives Matter. We come to each week and attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and your community. We're glad you're here with us. Thank you.
All right. Before we turn it over to our facilitator, because that's what I use also in when I'm teaching in seminary, that I'm just a facilitator, but the teacher's the Holy Spirit. So I'm just leading the discussion. I'm not the discussion. But we're still praying for Derek and Deirdre, JT and Orlando. We're still praying for you. JT, your wife had a picture up there from her high school days on Facebook.
I won't tell her you said that.
They did tell her I saw it because it said something about 10 years ago. She said, no, actually high school. I was like, okay, yeah, it looks like it was that much apart. So JT and Orlando, Cheech and Anna, Isabel, Jordan, Monique, my brother Tim Butler, we're going to continue to keep him in prayer. And there's others from my church that I won't put on here, but others from my church that are in need of prayer. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our facilitator, Will Quick, retired
Dude, it's not the
felicitator. Oh, JT has his hand up, and first of all, D had his hand up first, and then JT. So I don't know how you want to do that, Will, but it's in your hand.
Y'all go ahead. What are your opening thoughts?
All right, just real quick. Last week was Police Week. Last week and some say this week is Police Week. That's just recognizing all the law enforcement officers that lost their lives in the line of duty, but also all the law enforcement officers, period, both working and retired. That's what that slideshow was about. Actually, Mark will love this. There was that one kid in the middle. Nobody here really recognized him because he belongs to me. And he was with NYPD first because he wanted to become a trooper, but they weren't giving out any jobs. They had a block on all the jobs for about 2 years. So he said, let me go be with NYPD. He was there for 2 years. And then he came over to the state police. When I talk about my kids, my chest comes out to here because #1 in both classes. Just not even first day at the academy. Nobody's even there. The troopers wasn't even there. He was standing out there because he understood what I was trying to explain. He became the class representative in that class. And now when we talk about these things, military things, he's actually was NYPD, is now presently with the state police, but he's deployed. Can't say where he is, what he's doing. but he's out there. And I say that just so everybody can understand. I reach out to this kid reaches out to me immediately. Some way he figures it out just to give me a thumbs up, let me know you're all right, you all. So when we talk about all of these things happening in the world today, it's affecting people we know. It's not one of these things where, hey, it's over there. It's over there. It's real stuff and real life or death stuff. So I know some of you guys didn't recognize that picture. That's who that was. He's over there serving, and I just want to give him a little respect because he's doing his thing. He's out there keeping us safe and keeping those that keep us safe. So I just want to bring that out and give him a little attaboy. I'm not gonna say his name or where he is. I'll tell you guys offline because you really can't. But that's my guy. That's all I wanted to say. And just remember, if you can, police officers. Some of those police officers in the beginning, guys I actually work with, the best of the best. They're gone because they decided they wanted to protect you from what's going to hurt you, and that's why they're gone. And I know it specifically because all of them, I deal with their families today, so it doesn't go away. You lose a guy and then we move on. It don't end for me. Some is 2007. What would that make it? 20 years. One of them is 20 years. I'm still
almost. It's 19 years.
Yeah, since I take care of his daughter today, 20 years. She's married, got 3 kids, but we still talk every single day, every couple of days. So just keep in mind those police officers that gave the ultimate sacrifice, and what it might mean to you. That's all I wanted to say.
For sure. JT.
Yeah, just got a condolences request. My cousin, I didn't say it last week because it wasn't on Facebook and I didn't want to be the first one to put it up. I lost a cousin last week. He was the family of Joe Douglas, Albie Douglas, Ronnie Douglas, my family. He was living in Virginia, and he had, it was a attempted carjacking, what the police saying, but he was shot and killed last Wednesday, I believe it was. Yes, I just wanted to request a prayer from everybody. You know, family's taking it very hard.
What's his name, JT?
Rodney Douglas.
Oh, Rodney.
Rodney Douglas's son.
Oh, Rodney's son. Okay, because I know Rodney, and I definitely know Albie, and I know Laurie.
Laurie, yeah. Sad news, because the same thing happened to my nephew about 6 years ago now, I guess, in Florida. He was hanging out, got shot, died at the scene. So it's a little rough for the Thomas and Douglas family, but there's strength in prayers, y'all. Thank you so much.
Sorry to hear that, man.
You hit the nail on the head. When it's all at the end of the day, everything starts and ends with God.
Amen.
We don't always understand why things happen the way that they do, but whether in joy or in times of difficulty, He brings us together. So consider us brought together for this as well. I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Some of the comments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, before
Don, you got something?
Yeah, I forgot to remind people. We are going in 2 weeks. We'll have 6 years on this show, and I just want you guys just to be aware of that. So we're gonna have to come up with something for that 6-year anniversary. But D's already working. Look at his mind working already. We're gonna come up with something. So I just wanted to remind our listeners that that's what we're coming up on it. The reason why this show started is because of the George Floyd homicide, murder, and that kind of like outraged me first of all, and then I reached out to most of the people you see here. Even if they didn't start with us, they jumped right. As soon as they heard about us, they jumped right in on us. So we're all one. And I hate to separate dates. So as far as I'm concerned, we all came on that first week in June of the year of 2020. So we all came on that time, and we're still here. We some left, because of family and other obligations. But they're still with us in spirit. So we thank God for them. Will, it's back in your hands.
We appreciate that, Don. You're right. In 2 weeks, that's going to be a momentous occasion. And in addition to this panel, our listeners and our followers, you all are part of this family too. So we give you your love. Donald Coleman, Melissa Sutherland Moss, Karen Caffey, Eva, Eric James, Beverly Harleston Wells, Donald Coleman. Okay, I think I've covered everybody. And we got others, but you all are part of our family too. And we appreciate you taking the time each and every week to join us for the discussions. Some of the comments that you heard earlier on regarding this being Police Week and understanding what goes on in the life of officers and what we're dealing with right now. I think this first video, D, is really going to drop some major light on the current state of affairs. I ain't gonna spoil it. Go ahead and give it to him.
So we're celebrating, like we said, Police Week, and you know what's in the news. I don't want to spoil it either, so I'm just gonna let the video play, and then I want to hear your outrage.
Trump's $1.7 billion slush fund for crooks and rioters is at risk of melting. Right here, right now at the Capitol. A key Republican here in the U.S. House, Brian Fitzpatrick of suburban Philadelphia, a frontline Republican, says he is keen on killing this thing. His constituents do not like it. Take a listen.
Congressman, what do you make of this $1.7 billion fund for
bad news? We're trying to kill it.
You're going to try and kill it?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And how?
Well, we're considering legislative options. We're going to write a letter to the AG to start, but we're considering a legislative option.
Okay.
We're trying to unpack exactly, what the legal machinations are, but can't do that.
You think this is something your constituents would want you to fight for?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Listen, I think constituents across America want the same things for the most part. We're trying to restore trust in the institution. That's why, I partnered with everyone from Tim Burchett to AOC on banning members of Congress from trading stocks. We're trying to take steps, any gerrymandering, we're trying to take steps to bridge the divide between the public and the institution. And things like this just go backwards, So that's why step one is we have to, all of us, journalists, members of Congress, we have to unpack what exactly it is. Right now, we just have a top line of, some sound bites. We don't know what the source of the funding is, what the legal authority it's based on is. Is there a precedent? If there isn't, why not? What falls within the court's jurisdiction in terms of constitutional review? This is what we're trying to get our arms around. But step one is a letter to stating our position to the acting attorney general.
Who else will be on it with you?
I don't know, but we're doing that right now.
Yep.
And my staff is working on legislation. We're working with the legislative council to figure out what, and this is why we got to get to the source of the funding, right? To know what our jurisdiction is and how we can respond to it.
He's not the only Republican who is defiant on this. Lindsey Graham, the ardent Trump ally in the Senate, told my teammate Pablo Manriquez that we'll see if this thing does okay on the Senate floor, if it ever gets there, the $1.7 billion fund. David Schweikert of Arizona, Don Bacon of Nebraska, both had some concerns and told me all about them.
Any thoughts on the $1.776 billion fund?
Oh, I'm very concerned about it.
Deep concerns?
Oh, yeah, it's partially, I don't know structurally how to do that. There's already statutes to redress disputes.
Well, it looks like the president is the plaintiff and the defendants now work for him. So it's him negotiating with himself. So there's got to be some kind of independent arbitrator that gives people confidence that it's impartial.
You think your constituents have some problems with this?
Some do, and some are defensible, because I was on the radio yesterday saying, Don, these guys have been harassed for years under Biden. I said, fair enough. They got a right to sue, but you can't negotiate with yourself on how much taxpayer money you want to pay yourself.
And then there's the other matter, the one that was quietly passed on by the administration late on Tuesday. The IRS seemingly getting into some deal with Trump in which he is now absolved from any future tax review, and that his family would be too. This was also a source of outrage that Democrats seem keen on blocking, and blocking immediately. I spoke at length with Jake Auchincloss, the third-term Democrat from Massachusetts. I'm wondering if your constituents have asked you, what could or should the Congress do about this settlement that absolves Trump and his family from any future review by the IRS of their taxes?
Nullify it.
You think that's possible?
Of course it's possible. Congress makes the laws. What's lacking is not the legal capability for Congress to assert its will. Congress is the first branch of government, Article 1, and we absolutely have the authority to overturn, nullify a settlement between the president and the president's own attorney who's acting as attorney general.
Yeah, presumably you need the votes to do that, though, and I wouldn't imagine Republicans are ready to jump on board that.
Oh, no, I said, you asked me what Congress could do. If you're asking me what Congress will do, I will point you to the Republican conference in Congress, which has consistently huffed and puffed and then allowed Donald Trump to blow their house down.
You think there's a level of outrage outside this building? Do you think your constituents, when they're paying $5 of gas, can care about that stuff that they may view as Washington inside baseball? Or do you think that resonates with people in the 4th District of Massachusetts?
I think the self-dealing in the ballroom disgusts people. I think the corruption disgusts people. It is not sufficient for Democrats to exclaim against how much we despise Donald Trump. Americans are clear. They know the Democrats don't like Donald Trump. What Americans need to hear from Democrats is what we are for. And I think we are for a new American dream. We are for the compact with the American public that if you're working hard, you should get an excellent education by 18. You should be
what you think? You think we got enough context on this?
By 65. That's our commitment to you.
Ami Bera of California kind of encapsulates.
The boss called an audible, so let's go.
Well, no, I didn't know if there was something else particular. I felt like there was a lot of context that they touched on the points. Was there something else?
No, go ahead.
Because I hadn't looked at the whole thing.
Go ahead. We're good.
Well, we got several hands up. Surprisingly, the ones who put their hands up, I can't believe Jim put his hand up and it jumped up there first. So Jim, we're gonna go right to you.
I have so much to say. I almost have nothing to say. I mean, this is such in-your-face nonsense. And I got to laugh at these Republicans twisting themselves into pretzels, trying to figure out, we got to look at this, the structure of this, and where's the money? Not one of them said this is an outrage. Not one of them. They all, and that last guy that spoke, I think it was a Democrat, he said what I knew was what they say and what they'll do are totally different. Because when push comes to shove and he threatens them, they'll fold like a stack of cards. We got two Republicans just lost the primary, two distinctive old-time real law and order Republicans just lost primaries because they dared one time in their lives say something against the king. So this outrage, and just add to it, just think of two things, and then I'll leave you with this. Where are the police departments on this? These are convicted felons that assaulted police officers, went to trial, jury of their peers, were found guilty. Some of them just pled guilty of assaulting police officers, and crickets from police departments across the country. Just think of that. What in God's name is happening here? And then add to the wounds the fact that he wants total immunity for himself, his organization, and his entire family from any IRS investigation at all.
Oh, Lord.
The man is saying, hey, I am a criminal. I am a criminal. What are you going to do about it? We're in a strange place here, fellas and ladies. That's all I have.
You know, Jim, I got a lot of thoughts too, but I want to get to the hands that are up. I think, Rich, you were next, correct?
That's correct. Thank you, Will. Yeah, you know what? Jim touched on it. The hypocrisy, the criminality is just off the page. You know how you talk about pain being 0 to 10? Well, this criminal activity is 0 to 100. We've never had a corrupt, I don't think at any level in politics like this. I'm talking about the money grab, the greed, the in-your-face criminality. It's just over the top. I mean, number one, he should have never pardoned these 1,600 criminals that killed police and injured police. Okay? And the police are the victims here. If anybody should be getting any kind of money or restitution, should be the police that were injured and their families. Okay?
Exactly.
That's where money should be going if they're going to get some money together. Or if they're going to get some money together, they get some money together for some reparations, for people that were really, really abused. And I mean, it boggles the mind that criminality is allowed to go on because it's done right in your face, not behind closed doors. It's nothing sneaky about it. They're telling you, hey, I'm a criminal. I'm grifting. My family's protected. Your family's not. I want a golden ballroom and I got plans and they're all laid out, but I got your healthcare though. I got concepts of a plan. This is the world we live in, that we have a government that doesn't care about the people. It's just a corrupt party over country malaise. It's so horrible. It almost keeps you up at night thinking about how bad our country has gone down the toilet with this criminal. But they put him in office. The Republicans put him at the top of the ticket, and they've enabled him. And the funny thing, because I don't want to go into a rant, because I can easily do that. This is that serious. But the thing is, he detaches himself from actually being the president and becomes a plaintiff and the victim. And it doesn't. He's the only president ever to sue his own government. He's the only president that had a violent transfer of power. And it boggles the mind that he was allowed to be president again after doing that. January 6th should have been it. That should have been the red line, but it wasn't. And this is where we're at. And people are suffering behind this. And so that's what I got. Thanks.
Rich, you make a good point about the way he's maneuvering with this. But when the Supreme Court came down and said that he had, for all intents and purposes, blanket immunity for any action that that takes place while he's in office, I've said it a million times. I said it once. He's an evil genius. He launches a $10 billion suit against the IRS for what actually happened. You can't deny that it didn't happen. And instead of carrying that suit forward, he shifts to, well, I'll settle for $1.88 million for these folks, and then go on in front of cameras and say, I had nothing to do with that arrangement. It's unbelievable. Derek, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and his exact words were, I really don't know much about it. This is something that's going over well with other people. And it was the immunity into perpetuity for him, his family, and his business associates.
Mm-hmm.
That could be anyone. That could be anyone. And I mean, obviously, it's foul, it's unlawful. He's trying to do it as an aside to the $10 billion that he initially tried to rip off. And if this goes to the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, the Oath Keepers, the Boogaloo Boys, the people that were convicted and released from prison, that'll be like 1,062,000 per person. That's so what he's trying to do is he's trying to create his own street militia. So we already have, his ICE agents and his Homeland Security people doing unlawful acts against American citizens, but technically, the government is responsible for them. If he can make each of these criminals, known criminals, millionaires, they don't even have to work. All they have to do is get ammunition, buy guns, whatever other munitions they can purchase, and train and be ready to be his street militia. And it looks like that's where he wants it to go. Hopefully these incompetent people that are in Congress can get the votes passed and stop. So, we'll just have to see where it goes, but he's literally looking to create his own street militia. And so far, I've heard that two of the Capitol officers that were assaulted are suing to stop.
And you're right about that, Derek. I saw a news report. One of the Proud Boy leaders has already formally filed suit or filed a claim.
I think it's
two, Don?
No, I think it was like
Two
2 million, wasn't it?
something like that, yeah, have already filed claims for payment out of that slush fund. Now, it boggles my mind. You don't have a legal standing as far as a judge saying that your suit had merit. You hadn't gone through any sort of, you all help me out here, not disclosure. What's the term I'm looking for? Discovery. You haven't gone through any discovery. And you make a settlement like the point that you made, Jim, or whoever it was. He's basically negotiating with himself to get all this done. And now that money is sitting out there. I can't wait. I hope that James Comey files for his portion out of these ridiculous cases that are being brought under this current administration against him. I see your finger up, Ty. What's on your mind?
He's negotiating about himself, with himself, to himself. That's what.
But he does a lot of that.
That's what he's doing.
I bet he does a lot of that in private too. Sorry, rascal. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Ty. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But I just want so people can understand the absurdity of what we're talking about. I want you to walk into 99 Main Street. That's our court here in Hempstead, right? I want you to walk in that door to the clerk's office. And I want you to tell her that you want to initiate a suit. And when she asks you who you're suing, say myself. And when she says, well, what did he do that made me the victim? I want you to say that to her, and I want you to stop talking, and I want you to look at her face. And if she don't laugh you out of that office and a couple of Hempstead cops drag you out of there, that's how absurd this is. And we talk about people being allowed to because they said, okay, you can't do the big suit. Let's give him $1 million to. Where's he going away? And my red friends, all of you guys, the money is coming from you. I know you don't think that, you don't want to believe that, but the money is coming from you. If you don't believe me, let me tell you how. Go to the gas station. Go right there. I went yesterday. Go to the grocery store, buy you some eggs. Go ahead. The money is coming from you. Your president is robbing you. And you're okay with it. More. The last thing I wanted to say was you open up the jail and let all the criminals out. I spent 32 years putting criminals in there. Some of them don't need to be on the street. They'll tell you themselves, I don't need to be on the street. But if you set this precedent where somebody can let out this many people for really no reason at all and then make them millionaires, I don't know who else is coming outside the house when I got a bunch of millionaire criminals running down my block that can get arrested, gonna get cut loose, and then get some money.
And then have money to get cut loose if they get arrested again.
All right, so I got a whole new phrase.
But I got one thing, Will, and then I'm gonna be done. I'm telling you the way I'm thinking. I don't know, but I can't let nobody go. Don't speak wrong to me because you gonna get out and get $1 million. I gotta handle my business. Maybe I can get out and get $1 million. I don't know.
You know, in this current environment, a word socialism is considered a nasty word, but there is an entitlement socialism. Did you mention about the robbery? The robbery took place when Doge came in and cut all those jobs, and they cut all of, because the eggs and the gas and whatnot, a lot of that stuff comes to the state and to private. But when they cut all those jobs and took away services for people and cutting those jobs, when they cut subsidies for health care. They were all, that was a robbery. Now here is the elitist entitled redistribution of wealth to these folks. And that's what they're doing. Jim, what's going on?
Yeah, as you were saying before, as to who would apply for this money, the way they're setting it up is the AG, who's totally subservient to Trump. He picks the 5 people who make the decisions. So, like even to say Comey puts the thing in, they're just gonna now that he's not getting anything. It's gonna go to, just like somebody said it, right on the money. He's building an army. He's building an army. That money is going to go to his soldiers. And those soldiers are the ones that assaulted police officers and get out of jail. That's his army that he's going to create. You know, we say every week, and it really isn't just talk off the cuff. He's creating a system where he and only he has the power of enforcement. You know, he's already taken away the FBI, the CIA. He's got all of that, all subservient to him. Now he's going to create this militia, his own private militia, by giving them this money. And you know how easy it is to get people to join up when they see that you could do what you did on January 6th, beat police officers up, which is a lot of fun for some criminals. And not only get out of jail free, but make $1 million on top of it. Now that's an easy, sign me up, chief. So this is what's being created. And these stupid Republicans in Congress trying to spin themselves around like, oh, we can't do this. The answer is very simple. Stop it. Stop it. Yes, you're going to lose your seat. Yeah, he's going to primary you and you're going to get your ass thrown out. But you know what? Be a man or be a woman and step up to the plate and save the country, for goodness sakes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's hit a couple of the comments real quick. I see the hands that are up. It'll be Ty and Derek, but let me catch these comments real quick. Eva says, I agree with Jim 100%. We are in so much S. I think we all know what that means. We appreciate her being polite in her verbiage. Because all of us ain't gonna be there. I can tell you right now. God, please help her. She's 100% correct. Richard
Will, her pastor's listening, Will. Her pastor's listening.
Nothing wrong with sugar.
Okay. Well, Eva, just send a message. If you want me to be your anger translator, I got you. Ordinarily, I defer to Dave, but I got you.
You got JT.
Richard Paul Jordan. Oh, that's right. JT's good at that.
Yeah.
No shade, JT.
A+.
Richard Paul Jordan says, hey, Eric, thanks for being there with us. T4L. Rich.
Tiger for life.
Okay. All right. Got you. Richard Bowden. President Donald John Trump doesn't lie. Do you have any idea how hard it was for me to even read that? I know it's being sarcastic, but it was hard for me to read that. You have my word on it. I'm also selling the Alamo at a good price. They shouldn't get a dime. Veterans can't get decent health care. Now these yahoos are getting paid. The Capitol Police should have opened fire on the first one that breached their barricade. You know what, Richard Bowden? Bro, I'm feeling all of that. It'd have been a whole lot. It's probably bad for me to say it, but based upon what I saw in there, if I'd have been on the other side with my duty weapon, it'd have been a whole lot of. It'd have been a whole lot of foreheads marked up.
Yeah,
coming in the door.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Like a woodpecker tacking on a piece of wood.
No doubt about it.
And Chili Willie, I was traumatized just watching those poor officers being attacked. I wanted to jump into TV and go help. AC says, are the January 6ers who have been released and rearrested eligible for this money? Of course they are.
Yes.
Because everybody that got rearrested on state charges. Yeah, they're eligible. All right, Ty, what's happening?
So, Jim, should I say it or you say it? Because Dirk's been saying it for about 4 years now. This is all by design. Dirk, you remember for time you said this? Well, I don't know why I was so surprised. This is what it's planned for. And now, because of the 6th of January, he saw that he can ignite a certain portion. Then he saw that he can get them to do his bidding without actually asking them to. And now that he's gotten them in power again. He's gotten them released. Now they really believe in him. If you give him $1 million, it's going to be a wrap. And Derek, we've been saying this now for like 4 or 5 years. Derek said it first. I can't take credit, but Derek said it first. Derek said this is by design. And me and Jim almost fell off our seats. We were both thinking the same thing. And that's exactly what's going on, man. And we saw the writing on the wall. And this is going to be part of the implementation of the he can't really do both. He's gonna he can't that also. I think he wants to do the have the militia in charge. He wants to have the militia in charge, but he'd like to have his militia as an immediate attack force. That's what the plan I think is, man. I yield to Derek. Did I say it right, Derek?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you roll down this way, I see the van, and you ain't got to ask no question. I'm just coming out the door.
Yeah, and one
Go
thing
ahead,
that's
Derek.
interesting is a lot of these Republicans already feel like he's their king. How do you think people that he gives a 7-figure check will feel? He's literally their king and their savior, and they'll do anything for him. They'll run down their own family members for him. The more frightening part is this guy is turning 80 soon. He's not going to be, and he's not a healthy 80. He's not going to be around forever. When this guy croaks or leaves office, whichever comes first, these people that if this goes through and he gives them this money, they're still going to be around. They're still going to be in their organizations. They're still going to have their money and they're still going to have their weapons. And then they will have no leader. What happens then? It's a scary proposition. And I know I've said it before. This is the time where our Second Amendment is really coming into play. And we really need to be prepared. We don't need to go out hunting for anyone. We just need to be prepared to protect ourselves if someone comes at us with force, any kind of force. We just need to be prepared. That's it.
Come up here shortly, because Mark, I think you're the last hand. Then we're gonna go into the next video. What you just said is going to be real interesting from a perspective. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I just want to say to our listeners, because everybody on this panel is pretty much feels the same way. I can speak for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have the government that we used to, and I'll make it real quick. Whenever you can, vote. Please vote. Don't sit here and watch as this country implodes. Okay? I'm not telling you to go out and hurt anybody. I'm not telling you to do anything else. Just vote. The power of the vote. You know, this guy turned around and endorsed people and they won. That's scary. Okay? And your only real alternative to get this country back on its feet is to cast your vote. That's it.
And you make a really good point, Mark. I was looking at the results of Thomas Massey's race in the primary in Kentucky. He lost by about 10,000 votes to the guy that Trump threw his support behind. On the Democratic side of that primary ticket, the lady that won, I think it was far fewer Democrats that voted in that, but she got, I think, maybe 20,000, something like that. So my math tells me if everybody that voted for Massey come general election time, throw their support behind this young lady, then that guy should be taken out easy. And I'm hoping that they voted for Massey, not just from his qualifications, but from the outrage and what he stood for. So meaning they won't revert back, well, this is the Republican nominee, so I just got to vote for him. I'm hoping that they won't do that. But you make the perfect point, Mark, about we need to vote. If we're good with this conversation, I don't see any more hands. D, let's go ahead and get into this next one.
All right, let's take a ride out to Rich's area, out in San Diego. I had a little shooting out there at a mosque. Let's take a look.
I know it's time of sorrow, time of sadness. We have never experienced a tragedy like this before.
Now to that major breaking news out of San Diego. 3 people are dead after a shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. A lot of new information just coming in this afternoon. It happened around noon. We have learned the 2 alleged suspects were teenagers.
The Islamic Center is located in Claremont. For reference, that is just east of Mission Bay, about 20 minutes north of downtown San Diego.
Our Bianca Bono arrived on the scene a short time ago, gathering information. Bianca, what can you tell us right now?
Well, right now, this entire area of San Diego remains completely closed off. We are staging just a couple of blocks away from the Islamic Center of San Diego, where this horrific shooting occurred today. It is the largest mosque in the county, located right off the 805 freeway and Balboa Avenue. In the past hour, we were briefed by law enforcement who described this as the most dynamic scene they have ever encountered, confirming 3 adult males have died. The 2 suspected teenage shooters were also found deceased. Now, police say the initial call reporting the shooting came in around 11:45 this morning. Within 4 minutes, police were there. That's when they saw 3 deceased adult male victims out front. We know one of those victims was a security guard who police say played a pivotal role in ensuring this was not even worse. Police say within minutes, more calls came in reporting additional gunfire just a few blocks from there. Police say a landscaper working outside was shot at. Fortunately, they survived. Then police found a vehicle in the middle of the street where the 2 suspected shooters were deceased. They were found with apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Police have not identified the alleged suspects yet, but tell us they were 17 and 19 years old. Witnesses we talked to in that neighborhood say they heard several gunshots before seeing the suspected shooters deceased. Now, following the traumatic moments at the Islamic Center, chilling images emerged of small children, preschool through 3rd grade students who attend school there, being escorted out. Here's San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall, who says they are investigating this as a hate crime.
I cannot express the gratitude, the willingness to step into harm's way in a moment like this. And I tell you what got me. Watching the kids come running out. Just thankful to be alive.
And this was a very robust response from San Diego and neighboring police departments. I even talked to family members who live all over the county, and they all reported seeing police officers jump on the freeway from wherever they were. We are talking dozens and dozens of police vehicles. We also know that the FBI and ATF are also assisting police in this investigation. Now, the posture of police has certainly changed. Initially, we saw police with guns drawn, running around this area. Now that they believe those 2 suspected shooters are deceased, the investigation is now shifting. They're working to learn more about who those 2 individuals were and, of course, what the motive was. Reporting live in San Diego, Bianca Bono, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I see your hand up. Give me just a hot second. Let me catch a comment related to the last video. Donald Coleman says, Mark, I agree with you. In all of my years on this earth, I've never seen anything in my life like what's going on at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm so annoyed. I'm changing my first name. I'm changing it to Dickie. Rich, what are your thoughts on this latest incident? And obviously, this is, for the folks that don't know, this literally hits close to home because this is the area where Rich is in the country, correct?
Correct. I've lived in San Diego, I've worked here, and I must say, first of all, I'm very proud to see the response by San Diego police officers. And it was the sheriffs, it was everybody comes out. When they do a call like this, as you see all those vehicles, it's a mutual aid call out. We come from everywhere. Every department is representative in that area. That's why you see all these cars, because you still have to maintain the other areas with police. You just can't, because there's a shooting at one location, just give up the whole county. So all these units coming together, get a great job. Guys with long guns were jumping the fence at the Islamic Center. just an excellent response. This could have really been bad. That security guard, I'm gonna say props to him. You know, they did a GoFundMe for him. They got raised a lot of money for him. You know, I was told that it could have really been a whole lot worse if he hadn't intervened and done what he did. So just right off the bat, it's a horrible situation. But the police response, because you know how we had that response in Texas, it was such a bad deal. You know, with kids in the school and the whole nine. This was the epitome of the proper police response to a shooting, especially a shooting that's connected to a school where little kids are there. No kids died, 3 adults, and then the perpetrators killed themselves. I just said, job well done, the response. And I just can't sum it up any better than what occurred. It was really a great job. It was contained. It could have been a whole lot worse if those guys weren't professional and aggressive enough to secure that area. So there's 3 crime scenes, if you're not aware. The crime scene at the Islamic Center, the scene over by the landscaper they shot at, and where they were found in the car, in the vehicle. Apparently, if you didn't know, the guns and the vehicle they used was one of the suspect's mothers. So they got her guns and they got her vehicle that they used to commit these crimes. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Appreciate that input, Rich. Derek, I believe you're next.
Yeah, and I was actually going in the same precise direction as Rich. The response was excellent, and the response is obviously very important because when you have 2 people that are willing to die, or when you have any perpetrator that's willing to die, the best thing you can do is try to cut the casualties as quickly as possible. And they were able to stop it at 3, in addition to the 2 guys that killed themselves. But when someone's willing to die for their cause, they are likely going to kill someone else before they get taken out. And fortunately, the response was such that these guys felt it was time to take themselves out. So kudos to the responders and to the security guy that was on the scene.
Appreciate that, Derek. D.
All right, before I go, can we let Jerry go? Because her hand went up and down on the first one, and we didn't allow her to talk. So I want to hear what Jerry has.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Jerry. That's on me.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Reacted. I wanted to say though, one of the gunmen's mother actually called in and stated that her son was suffering was a little out of it, and that he had her gun. So you're right, they got the weapons, but she actually called in the fact that she was concerned about her son and him doing something. So yeah, that's a good thing too. She actually called him. She said, look, she didn't know what he was going to do, but she was concerned about his mental state and the fact that he had her guns and her car.
See your point, Jerry? You'll have to pardon because I don't play poker, so you probably can, some of y'all can read the look on my face. To me, they were her guns and her car. All that sounded like was a cat covering shit, trying to make sure that this didn't blow back on her lap. That's what it sounds like to me. I maybe I'm insensitive. I don't know. Yes, she's lost her son, but at 17 and 19 years old, you launch a targeted attack at a Muslim facility where you've already been overwhelmingly indoctrinated by the leader of the free world, that every Muslim is a radicalized Muslim who wants to try to push the religion of this country where there's not supposed to be an established religion. It's supposed to be freedom of religion. And you want to say, oh, I called and let them know that he was getting ready to start shooting something up with my guns and in my car. I'm sorry in advance. Please don't come arrest me. That's all I got out of that. I'm sorry, D. Go ahead.
Nah, don't be sorry. I think I want to change. Dickie, you changing your name? You could change your name. I want to change the name of this government. We're going to United States of Dumbfuckistan. That's what we're going to be. Let's call it that. That's what we are. We around the world acting like fools. We got, heroin addicts reporting to felons. All right, that's who we are. We got total lawlessness, top to bottom. Parents are running around, running your mouth. Your kids are listening. Now they shooting up mosques because their brains don't understand you're a fool and you're following a fool. They just know mom and dad, everything is great, so they're going to be fools. And now you have this. Derek, you said it earlier, and I want to be clear. You're right. Second Amendment, guys. Second Amendment. I ain't got time to find out if you're a fool or not. Don't listen. Look at this face. Take my hat off. Don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to have to worry about it because I got to think about your boss and what he's putting in your head and how you might think what happened in this mosque is okay. You don't care about your life. So if you don't care about your life, neither do I.
I got that. You got that right. Listen, we got a couple of comments here. Ken Caffey says the faith community is collaborating on an intense voter mobilization act for the primary season and for the November elections. There is not a vote to be wasted. And for all of the folks who celebrated that stummy, whatever it is, it's not pleasant. From the first term, did you save any gas and eggs this time? The guard at the center was motivated to provide security after the shooting in Christchurch, New Zealand, where their prime minister acted immediately to lock down access to guns. Listen, y'all, I want to ask you something. There's a reason why it is written into our Constitution about freedom of religion. And for all the different things, there's two areas that historically for violence should have always been off limits, without question. That's schools and churches. Now, I want to talk specifically about churches, places of worship. Somebody give me an example of an active shooter situation that took place at a place of worship that wasn't either predominantly Black or Islam. Now, that being said, because so many people in this country associate Islam or radical Islam, but they don't associate Christianity with radical Christians, Christian nationalists, white nationalists, whatever you want to call it. I started looking up these organizations that are considered radical Islam, the Hezbollahs, the Hamases, the Taliban. And the thing that I kept finding in common with all of them, they wound up becoming radicalized and fortified at a time when they were allied with the U.S. government. And then the U.S. government somehow or other turned their back on them or decided that they are no longer friends, and then used propaganda to make them the enemy. And now if you practice Islam, you are considered to be radicalized in your practice. Did you put your hand back up?
Yeah, real quick. I did something that I didn't want to say it, but I guess I got to say it. Don't put this on my guard, y'all. Don't put your foolishness, you shooting up churches and putting it on my God. Listen, if you want to believe in Thiefology, let that be your religion. Don't put it on my God, talking about my God he ain't telling you to do this foolishness. Stop it. You believe in Thiefology. Let me take what I can get. Let me hurt who I can hurt. That's your religion. You go ahead and believe in it. But let's call it what it is. Don't Christianity and Catholic. Stop all that. Stop all that. You hate. My religion ain't got nothing to do with hate. That's you. That's you wanting to take something that doesn't belong to you. Thiefology. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna start it today. The United States is dumb fucking.
It's idolatry
and Thiefology. You when you come in, you want to steal. You walk in your place of whoever you were. You want to steal from people. That's what you do. If that's who you want to be, but then say it. My problem is you try to make it seem something else and justify your foolishness. And like I said before, watch what you're telling your kids. Watch what you're telling your kids, because just like they can turn on somebody else and don't care about their life, they'll probably turn on you.
That is. That is. Any other thoughts or comments on this one? Y'all kind of surprised me. I thought this was going to carry us down the rap hole to the end. But listen, I'm not going to press it.
Well, I wanted to say that you left off synagogue, you left off the Jewish community. They've been targeted as well by MAGA folks throughout the country, from San Diego here to Pittsburgh, remember? So synagogues as well, as you know, the mosque and black people, black churches, you know.
Well, and that's a deeper conversation for a different time. And you're right, I did forget that. But that piece is a little bit more murky because of the influence of that community in our political society. And on the one hand, you got some from that same community who is benefiting. And on the other hand, you got some who are being hurting. So they want to cry victim on one side, but then exert authority and power through money on another side. You can't have it both ways.
No, I understand that. I was just saying,
but you're right.
Religious communities being targeted by MAGA in this country.
Yes,
they're one of them. You know, you can have that debate about the money and power and the influence, but still, as far as the religion is concerned, the location, synagogues have been attacked. I was just mentioning that as well. That's all. I know it's the biggest.
Right. And I get your point. You're right. And that was omission on my part. Mark, I see your hands up.
Yeah, make no mistake. This country was founded on that. It's hypocrisy. You know, they came and they stole. Native Americans had their own religion. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't the people who came over, so they changed that. They killed cultures. They killed thousands and thousands and thousands. So, you know, this country, it's more of the same. It was founded on hypocrisy. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is. But it needs to change. And the only way to change is to vote.
Absolutely. Got one quick comment from Richard Bowden. Schools and churches are soft targets. The shooters know they will not get shot at. They haven't gone to the right church. I know several churches in Richmond, Virginia with concealed carry security. I think it might be one somewhere up near Hampstead, ain't it?
Well, that's South Hampstead. That's South Hampstead.
Oh boy! All right, D. Let's get to the next one.
All right, we're gonna go to let me see where is this thing at? I don't know. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen a cop ever do. I'm gonna shorten this video because it's a long one, but we just wanted to give you a little bit of it so we could discuss it. Let's take a look.
It's in Hinesville, Georgia.
And individuals in the car, well, disabled couple. They're left stranded. Put on full mask. I'm going to tell you the horrific story about cops who left a disabled couple stranded overnight due to a traffic stop. A disabled Army veteran and her amputee husband were stranded on a dark highway at 3:00 in the morning. They got pulled over for an insurance issue that the couple's insurer now says, you know what? It was actually not their fault. Deborah Mobley Sattler Sims, 71 years of age, a retired U.S. Army veteran and former law enforcement professional herself, and her husband, Bobby Sims, 75, a below-the-knee amputee who has not walked in 2 years, were driving home on April 27th when they were pulled over. Officer Todd Parmentier told the couple the state database showed their vehicle had no active insurance coverage. Deborah Mobley Sattler Sims says she immediately attempted to show the officer proof of her active USAA policy, both on her phone and through her vehicle registration. But the cop refused to review any of it. Quote, he just left us out there on the side of the road like we were bags of trash, she said. After issuing a citation, the cop then decided to call a tow truck and instructed the couple to exit the vehicle. Ms. Sims says she told the officer her husband had not walked in 2 years. He's an amputee. He only has one leg. He helped Bobby out of the car, she said, quote, so it's not like he didn't know. I told him my husband had not walked in 2 years and he only has one leg and he's missing toes off the other foot, so he cannot walk. And I'm definitely not going to be able to push him out here where it's not lit. They're on a highway. The officer then decided to drive away. The officer drove away, leaving the couple on the side of the road. Now, before I get into the rest of this story, routinely, a state database will get information wrong as far as your insurance is concerned. That's the reason why most states, the cop allows you to show proof of insurance if the database comes back that you do not have it. I've been pulled over because my tag indicated I had no insurance.
All right, let's leave it right there. I don't think we need much more than that.
I think Tan went up first and then JT.
You can go first, JT.
My turn?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Derek is passing the mic to you.
That's the mic.
I just want to ask the question. It should be the last question asked. What happened to the cop? I'm going to go through all the red tape. What happened to the cop? Was he disciplined, suspended, fired, or just put on desk duty?
No.
Nothing happened.
Nothing yet.
Nothing that we know of.
Okay.
All right, Derek. You have the floor.
Obviously, as police officers, sometimes you run people's tags. This guy is randomly running a tag for this elderly couple at 2:30 in the morning. It's not some 17-year-old that's bumping loud music or burning rubber or swerving lanes. I mean, if they passed by him, he could tell that they were at least an older couple. He couldn't tell their age. The lady was 71. The man is 75. The lady informed him. She said, I have the insurance here, plus I have it on my phone. No, I don't need to look at that. We go by our system. He refused to confirm that she had insurance. And it's a 33-minute video. I watched the whole video. And she told him, well, what's going to happen? Are you going to give us a ride home? No, we don't do that. You're going to have to figure something out. She said, well, this is my husband. He's with me. I don't have anyone to call. Well, you all have until the tow truck gets here. Then you have to get out of the car. And she told him, my husband is an amputee and he doesn't have toes on his other foot. And he said, well, I'll give you time to get his wheelchair out. She had to get his wheelchair, get the husband's wheelchair up under him. And once the tow truck came in, it took 33 minutes all in total before the tow truck actually drove off with their car. And then the officer drove away at 3:03 a.m. and left a 71-year-old and a disabled 75-year-old on the side of the road. Period. It is blasphemous. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Rich.
Oh, this is disgusting. In all my years of law enforcement, I know that my fellow Zoom members here, there's a certain thing called the spirit of the law. You can have laws in the book and you can act to the letter of the law, but there's a spirit of the law. And when you're concerned about protecting the public and taking care of people, you go with the spirit of the law.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no way I would leave these people on the side of the road.
Mm-mm.
No way. Even if my sergeant would have said, no, go ahead and cite them and put them on the curb, I would have given them a ride home or made sure they had a ride home. There's no way you leave them on the side of the road. This is atrocious. This is not protecting and serving. This is cruelty. And that's all I got to say.
I agree with you more, Rich. The words that are coming to my mind right now are not nearly as polite. So I'm going to defer to D right now.
Let me just say quickly, there's some things as a person you have no business doing. As a human, just a person. If I'm driving down the street and I see this, I don't think I could go by. I just don't know. I'm not built like that. We have as law enforcement, we had a higher level of responsibility. There's some things as a law enforcement officer you don't have any business doing. He didn't have to ticket them because she's got the information. Unless the rules where they are different than everywhere else. If you have a valid card and they're telling me I can go either way on it. He definitely didn't have to get them out of the car. The man has, as far as I'm concerned, 2 amputated limbs. I can't take him out of the car. Why would I even want to? All of y'all did the job like I did the job. No, sir. If I could do anything else, not to take that man out of his current circumstances, I'm gonna do that. And to leave invalid people on the side of the road, I don't know, Derek. You can't come into the station and tell me this story.
No.
You can't come into my office and tell me this story the way it happened. Because first thing they wait, what? You did what and where? And I might get in my car and go out there. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
This
and even if
it
hits YouTube a day or two later, and you're the supervisor and you find out, this guy's in trouble.
Trouble is where it ends. Trouble. Listen, you got a responsibility to people, even the people we arrest. Please understand that. When we arrest people, even if you have to discharge your firearm, we are taught to, once the firearm goes off, now I got to give aid. Once I write the ticket, now I got to make sure everybody's safe and everybody gets home. Now that I tow the car, I got to make sure nobody else, I got to make sure my actions don't cause any further injury or insult. That's what our job is. I don't understand why this is allowable. Now, we said we didn't get the reports of what happened to this guy, but by this time, he had to have a line sergeant. And wherever he is, east, wherever, listen, if I'm the line sergeant, I'm in trouble today because I fired somebody I didn't have the authority to fire. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in trouble today. Jerry pulled up on the carpet means I'm in trouble. I'm pulled up on the carpet and they asking me, you know, we have rules and you can't do that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Let's go to the news and you explain to them why this guy needs to be working. He's a danger, y'all. He's a danger, not only to the public, but to all of us. If he's riding next I can't ride with him. How can I ride with a guy? I don't know. That's just wrong. And if we don't call it out as wrong, then I think we're complicit. That's just wrong. I don't know. At certain times in my career, somebody might have put hands on him. I'm just saying, I started in 85, y'all. If people put hands on you, it's just the way it was. And you just licked your wounds and you went home. And everybody said, what happened? I was stupid. Anyway, I'm done.
I think you're up next.
Who's up next?
Did you put your hand back up, Rich?
No, it just never went down.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Mark is up.
So I've taken cars from people, but if they were stranded on the side of the road, give them a ride. The only thing I can think of that you would leave this poor couple, even if he wasn't amputated, even if they weren't elderly, to leave them on the side of the road you must view them as less than people. And you shouldn't be wearing that badge.
NHI.
Period.
Yeah, and I wanted to throw that in there too, the racial component, because I feel like if these people look differently, they wouldn't have been treated that way. And through it all, the lady was just so nice. For the whole half hour, she was nothing but nice. She was like, "Look, I'm a retired veteran. Uh, she said, I also worked 17 years on the police department." She was just nothing but nice the entire time. This guy gave less than a shit about any of it. And it's incredible. I was appalled when I saw it.
You know, Derek, you making that point, because I hadn't watched the whole thing. We all know in law enforcement, our career path is historically been called paramilitary. And the unwritten, unspoken rule is a certain level of respect for those who wore the uniform in military service and those who wear the uniform in service to the community as a law enforcement officer. Again, that's not to say that you're above it or anything, but there's a respect for that uniform. Now, that being said, you saw the whole thing, Derek. The lady let him know that not only was she prior military, but she was also prior law enforcement. 70 plus, husband 70 plus. And I'm with you. I didn't want to bring in a racial component, but it is what it is from the optics. There is no one that I know of in law enforcement, even somebody that I would think the least of, that I could imagine would have done something like that. Now, to the point about car insurance for our listeners out there, if you ever want to see information travel fast, I can promise you, it does not travel any faster than for you to have a lapse in your car insurance and for them to notify DMV in North Carolina. So if you're ever thinking about changing your coverage, make sure that there is an overlap. Because if you cancel with your insurance that morning and you wait till that afternoon to initiate the new policy, DMV in North Carolina has already been notified you've been flagged as having a lapse in insurance. They don't go back to see if you have reestablished insurance. It goes down as a lapse. It's a flag on your tag. It gets run. And some of these officers, these knuckleheads, they don't care about you showing proof that your car is insured at that time. It doesn't matter. The only circumstance that that car should have been towed is if he had probable cause to arrest the both of them, which meant that, of course, they'd have gotten a ride. And that's the extreme. He didn't have that. But there's nothing that says you can't follow that car home, issue them a citation, or what would have been most reasonable, you take a look at the information and say, ma'am, I'm going to verify this. And if it stands, I'll give you a warning. I understand these things happen. If it turns out that you did have a lapse, I'll have to come back to your house and write you a citation. But when I look at the optics, I can come up with no other explanation for the choice of actions that he took than the demographic components of that stop. D, you got your hand back up, and then we go to Mark.
Yeah,
we're getting close to the last.
Yeah, we're coming to the end, so I don't want to belabor the point too much. But you said it. We're paramilitary, and some of the things I see, we talked about some other cases, and I was going to say it, but I was way down in the core. I didn't want to say it. In paramilitary, in the police department, what's our moniker? The first thing we learn in the academy. I want y'all, everybody who's watching the show, watch the head shake. We never leave a man on the battlefield under any circumstances. I don't care if there's 8 guys shooting and you only one. I saw that. I saw a meme. I should put it up where the guy thrown over the shoulder was shooting, and there was a guy running with him shooting, and they was both shooting at the bad guys, and the hurt guy was on top of him shooting. We never leave a man on the battlefield. No matter retired, past, you're talking about a retired police officer and a retired military person. You can't leave. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care how racist you are. As a human being, as a police officer, you violated everything that we are by doing that. I didn't want to say anything about the racism, but you left a man on a battlefield. You left them elderly people out there at 3 o'clock in the morning. One can't walk, and the other one probably can't push the one that can't walk, and you just left them there. That's a different level. That's a different level of whatever you're going through manifesting itself in you need some help. You need some serious help. That's all.
I think the word you're searching for is depravity. Okay. We're getting close to the end, but Mark, what you got on your mind, bro?
Yeah, I just want to add, if you're a racist cop, nothing we are going to say is going to change that. But God forbid that couple was struck by a tractor trailer, a car, whatever. There is a liability that you must now face because you left them out there. So even if you have a heart of stone, racist to the core, whatever, you're still putting your job and your life in jeopardy by leaving them out there. You're so sold on giving them a ticket and taking their car. You know what? But you could have given them a ride home. You could have called for a taxi. You could have done a whole lot of things. But the fact that you didn't, like I said, just shows that you didn't see them as people.
No.
And that's a problem.
That's a big problem. We got one comment from Karen Caffey before we carry it out to the good guy video. According to body cam footage shared by the HPD, when Mobley Sadler Sims asked how she and her husband would get home, Officer Parmentier told her, "This is your opportunity to have somebody to call, somebody to come get you a ride, Lyft, Uber, or something." That was his solution. D, you got your finger up real quick?
No.
Derek.
Yeah. I want to ask, JT, how old are you?
74.
74. So right now, you're the oldest person on this panel. Do you have Uber or Lyft in your phone?
Have what?
Uber or Lyft
There's
in
your
your
answer.
phone?
The answer is no.
I got Uber on there, but I
would take a wild guess and say the average 75-year-old does not have Uber or Lyft on their phone, especially the average 75-year-old living somewhere out in the sticks in Georgia. They probably don't have Uber or Lyft on their phone. It's just, and the lady said it because he said that, and she said, "Well, I've never taken an Uber or a Lyft." She said, "Is that something you have to pay for?" She actually asked him, "Is that something you have to pay for?" And he said, "Yeah." It didn't matter to him. I know my mother doesn't have any of that stuff on her phone.
I don't have it.
Pure evil.
Listen, y'all, we didn't got to the bottom of we didn't got to the bottom of the hour and the end of our show, but it's been a lot of heavy stuff going on. D, take us out on a high note, man. We need something to smile about.
All right, we talked earlier about watch what you say in front of your kids. Let's take a look at some kids.
What's the first thing you think of when I say Donald Trump?
Small fingers and orange face.
Do you think he's smart?
No.
Why not?
He treats people badly, and that's why I don't think he's smart.
Donald Trump has a lot of nicknames for people like Crooked Hillary, Rocket Man. Do you have a nickname for him?
Poop face. Mr. Tiny Hand.
Cheeto. Can you do an impression of him?
It's gonna be great.
We are gonna build a wall, and it will be huge.
I will build a wall. A big one.
China, China, China. Here's your paper towels.
Wow.
No.
Love it. I love it.
That was good. That was good.
I love it.
Good job, D.
Nice work, D. Don, you want to throw it back to you, sir?
That's the only way I'm moving. I gotta wait for you to give it to me. All right,
There it
listen.
is.
Thank you guys.
Oh,
So,
wait a minute. Mark,
Just real quick, I sent you something, D. Check it out. It's an email on what you were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
Is that for now? Or is that for now?
You can show that. Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And listen, thank you guys for joining us today. Roll call, Black, White, Blue for Better Relations. Thank you so much. And be prepared. In a couple of weeks, we're going to celebrate 6 years of doing this. I really can't believe that we're doing it for 6 years. And I really can't believe that we've been together for 6 years. You know, that says a lot. And then we can't say it right now, but we do get together. At least once a year we get together. Some of us get together other times of the year, but there's once a year that we all get together and we have a good time. So y'all keep us in prayer. We'll keep you in prayer. And we may have to do something locally so some of our viewers that are local can also join us as well. So we have to think about that. All right. I think that's it. We're praying for your families, your loved ones. Those on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us each week. Sister Karen Caffrey, you done took your mother's spot. Your mother, I know your mother's sitting right next to you listening to all of this stuff, but thank you for joining us each and every week. Eric Jones, Donald Coleman, Richard Bowden, that's my first cousin. Donald Coleman, AC Cheech, Valerie Marsh, Burris Marsh, and a few others on here. My wife, Sylvia Butler, she's upstairs looking and laughing. When I went upstairs to do something, she up there, she's all up on there. So she's on there, and I know some of your wives are on there as well. And then I want to thank our panel for sure. Thank you so much. All right, I believe that's it.
Did you mean Dickie?
Yeah, he changed his name.
Yeah, Dickie just put on there, do it at Brawley Park. Dickie, it's not Brawley Park anymore.
What is it?
It's Doug Cross.
Really?
Yeah, they renamed it after Doug Cross. Yes, they did.
Oh,
What?
Yep, yes, they did. His name after Doug Cross. All right, let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you again for allowing us to come together. We thank you again for this time that we spend with each other. I thank you for my brothers. I thank you for my sisters. I thank you for those who are on Facebook Live and YouTube. And we pray that, God, you will continue to allow us to be together as one and in unity on one accord. We pray to God for our families and our loved ones and all of those who we've named that are sick and shut in and grieved by the hands of death. Be with them. Be with JT's family, the Douglas family, the loss of his loved one. We pray to God that you will bless them and give them comfort in the time of bereavement. It's in the precious name of Jesus we do come and we do pray. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
See you guys next week. If it's God's will, see you next week. All right, we're off the air.
That's some of the most evil thing I've ever heard in my life, man. That's crazy. That's evil, Will.
Question.
Yeah.